So what's going on? I wanted to do this video right here. It was a request from one of my comments in my video, and they ask what are some ways that you can kind of vet subcontractors and also come up with some questions that you can ask subcontractors when you're bringing them on and you're hiring them, to kind of vet them to make sure that they're a good fit. So there's no, in my opinion, no kind of, you know, concrete way of doing it. You just have to go with the way that kind of flows best for you and your business. So I'll tell you how I do it, and some of the things that I've come up with to kind of help me kind of weed out and vet out the people that are good candidates and those that aren't good candidates. And you still never really know until you actually get them into your actual, system, into your actual company, and see how they actually perform, because everybody's going to perform exceptionally well on that first few cleans because they're basically auditioning and trying to put their best foot forward. But the thing is trying to find consistency. So normally what I do is when I bring in subcontractors, of course I go through the first application process. And in the application process, you got to understand and decide what type of subcontractors you're actually looking for, right? You have subcontractors that are actually, businesses that have, their paperwork and everything, and they're ready to go. But then you also have subcontractors that basically just want to work for somebody else, right? And those are two different mindsets. Those are more of the employee mindset as opposed to the business owner, entrepreneurial mindset. So you can figure that out when you're doing your interview for the most part, what type of category they kind of fit into, right? So when I'm doing my applications and I'm doing my interviews with people, I ask them a load of questions or a set of questions, and usually it's on the form also. But when I do the interview question, it's still the same. Do you have your EIN number? Do you have your articles of incorporation, your LLC? Do you have your insurance? Do you have your business license, right? And also, one thing I don't make the insurance as, it's not a end all be all, right? Because I know sometimes, you people have ups and downs in their business, and sometimes they may not be able to afford the insurance because they don't have any income coming in. So I understand that. So what I usually do is, if they don't have insurance, I give them up until a certain time period with it, which is about, I think I have it at like 45 days, and that's only because I give them the time frame to be able to get paid by me. And then once they get paid by me, they have the opportunity to get their insurance active and up to date, and then show me proof. Okay, so that's one thing. So if you know that they have their LLC, articles of incorporation, they have their EIN number, they have, like I said, they don't necessarily have to have insurance, but if they have insurance, then they're pretty close to being, legit in reference to focused on the business mindset, a business owner mindset, as opposed to an employee mindset. All right, so after that, we get them through that first stage where they have all the information that I need them to have. They set up their interview. We do a Zoom interview initially. Once we do the Zoom interview, ask them kind of a slew of questions. Some of my main questions are, basically, do they have supplies? Tell me about their responsibilities at their previous job or their current job. Do they have full-time employment now, or are they, doing strictly cleaning? Because that really determines their availability, their flexibility, being able to get to certain accounts at certain times, because certain accounts you have to clean them at certain times. And if they have a full-time job, say for instance that goes to 5 o'clock, and this account needs to be cleaned at 5 or 6 or whatever, and depending on the location, they may not be able to get there consistently over a period of time. Over a period of time, they may not be able to get over there consistently. So you got to kind of take all of those things into account. They're the part of the town or the city that they live in reference to the account. Is it going to be a travel issue? Those are certain things that I ask. What type of equipment do they have? Do they have a push vacuum or do they have a backpack vac? I tend to go with more of the backpack vac person because that shows me, and that's just in my opinion, that I love the backpack vac. I think it's versatile where you can vacuum and you can sweep with that one vacuum, and it's maneuverable, it's easy to get around, quick, fast, and in a hurry. You can hit all these points. You can also dust and everything with that, with your attachment. So that mindset kind of helps me in determining, okay, all right, I see that they're ready to go. Not necessarily end all be all if you have a push vacuum. That's just my kind of preference to see what kind of mindset that you have, right? And you probably can hear it in the background. Right now, I'm at one of the accounts. I'm vetting a subcontractor as we speak. They're on their first clean. I'm letting them do their thing. We told them what the client wants, what the expectation is, and now they're taking care of the cleaning right now. So what we normally do, which is another vetting process, is we let them clean. We let them clean and see what they do. But like I said before, they're going to put their best foot forward. So that first clean, it's going to be great. They're going to do everything, and it's going to take them longer because they're going to make sure, okay, I need to hit this, I need to touch this, because I know that the boss man is going to be inspecting everything that I do. So they're going to do, they're going to go above and beyond on that first clean, which is fine, But and that first clean should not be the only clean that you go off of. You should have another clean, see how they do, right? And of course, these are paid. These are paid cleans. You're not doing it for free. You're still paying them for it, but you're having them actually perform the duty, right? And that first clean is going to take longer than it's expected to take. So if it's supposed to take, an hour and a half, it's going to take them about two hours, 2 hours and a half, 2.5 hours, because they're going above and beyond, right, just to try to impress you. And you need to understand that. So don't take that as them being slow cleaners or anything like that. They're performing for you, and they're trying to present a good service, right? That's understandable. So don't worry about that. But you have to let them clean, see how they clean. Sometimes another thing that I also do when it comes to vetting subcontractors is I let them clean with my team. If it's a bigger job, my team will clean, and they'll clean a certain area, say like half of an account. We'll clean the other half, see how they do. Then the next time we clean, they'll clean the other half, see how they do, right? Because it's not the same, scope of work, depending on how large the account is. Or if it is, I may let them clean the whole thing and then let them come back again and do it again to see if it was just a fluke that first time, see if they figured out how to make it more efficient, be quicker at it, and stuff like that, and make sure that they have a routine. Once I see that, I see that they kind of have everything, have a routine going. They have, their own equipment, their supplies and stuff like that. The other thing is that's really, really important when it comes to not just subcontractors, but employees also, or anybody on my team, communication. Right? Are they responding back to you when you send them emails, when you text message them? Are they responding back to you? How long is it taking them to respond back? Not that everybody is supposed to be on their phones or in front of their laptops 24/7, but if I text you one day and you text me back the next day or respond back the next day, I can't go off of that, because if I have an issue, with an account, or, something's going on and I need to contact you and I can't get you, that means I have to go and take care of it myself. Why do I have you, right? That communication needs to go back and forth. And then also they need to understand that, if something goes wrong, they need to contact me expeditiously, right? They need to contact me immediately to let me know something's going on prior to the client telling me, right? I'd rather hear from my subcontractor or my employee before the client tells me. That way I can take care of it beforehand and there's no issue for the most part. Or I can let the client know, hey, this is an issue that we're having. I'm have eyes on it and I'm going to take care of it, right? So